Yes, I'm privileged to come back with the Samantha, the way she says her name, and the other name is really disturbing. It's typical of a Finnish name, but I'm also called Mwesigwa. I've also have to say those real names, Senyanga, which are terrific, also to create an impact. Otherwise, Samantha is showing off with everything. But all in all, I love the way she's trying to submit everything. I believe in real life that we should always look at all the exits being as an opportunity or an entrance to new avenues. And today we're just looking at the transition element. Why are we failing as the Afropean to attain the dreams we always want? The obstacles, are there obstacles which are really hindering us? Lady Sami is saying it all, that at times it's a character of us not setting the right standards. Sami, are you still there?
Sure.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm right here. Yeah.
By the time we ended the first session, you talked about the financial discipline is one of the hindrances that are limiting us. Can you try to explain more about that?
Thank you very much, my one and only Remy, aka Smoggy. Well, what I meant by this is many of us Afropeans that come to the diaspora lack what we call a saving discipline, yeah? And by this, I mean, we tend to live beyond our means. You find somebody earning a certain amount of money on a monthly basis, say, for example, 3,000 euros a month, and yet, you know, they spend about 5,000 and above, you know? So we have a habit. It's okay to spend if you actually need to spend it wisely. And by wisely, I mean, you know, the basic needs like housing, you know, housing, transportation, food, that would be fine, yeah? But then I'm talking about people that live beyond their means by always coming out to probably buy expensive. I'm going to give you an example. Yeah, I had a friend that was the type of person who would actually go hungry, yeah, or go without paying her rent and run to you for a loan, and yet go out and buy a phone, an iPhone. Or she would go out and buy a perfume or cologne, and yet, you know, she hasn't paid her internet bill, she hasn't paid her electricity bill. So such things to me are living beyond your means, you know. I always tell people that personally, I'm the type of person that I live within my limits. You know, if I want to buy something, I save up for it, you know, bit by bit. If let's say I want to buy something and I don't have a lump sum amount of money, I will start small. Save 20 euro this month, save another 100 next month, you know, until when you get the amount of money that is required, and then go and purchase what you want. But most Africans that come here get excited. I call it village excitement, you know. People get here and seem like they have landed, you know, in heaven, and now, you know, there's nothing more to worry about. So such people, misuse money in things that would not, you know, things that are not necessary, and by that they end up being in a lot of debt. Yeah, so that is the biggest problem some Ugandans, I mean some Afropeans have, because we're not talking about Ugandans only here, we're talking about Africans, Africans in general. So that is why it comes to saving discipline. If you lack that, just know that you are going to be doomed, and you will not progress in terms of savings or financially.
Is there any way you see what you studied actually? Because you're in the line of journalism. Actually, I'm looking at you as a journalist, even though you didn't go ahead to practice it.
Yes.
Don't you miss the journalism element?
Well, I would
and where
say
do you
that.
see yourself even using the skills
Yeah.
to what you're doing right now?
I won't say that I'm not practicing journalism or that I didn't practice journalism. Well, I did journalism, but I specialized in public relations, and that's where I was working with National Water and Sewerage Operation back then in Uganda. And public relations is very broad. It deals with a lot of things that entail customer care, for example, dealing with knowing how to handle people, like how to handle smoggy, how to address smoggy, I would say that my journalism spirit, is kind of connected to my medicine world right now. And by this, I mean, in medicine, we need to treat people like equally, regardless of their status, regardless of where they come from, you need to protect everyone equally, whether you are president's son or not. And then also that human effect of knowing that, okay, you know what, I need to treat this person as a human being, being friendly. That is also more like to journalism. You see, so I wouldn't really say that I'm not practicing. Of course, most people, when they hear journalism, they always think of radio or TV or a newspaper. But my area of interest was mainly public relations, and public relations with me, I would say that I do this in my everyday life. For example, at school, I'm always at the university, I'm studying right now, smoggy again. So I'm usually, like the class representative, when it comes to airing our views out to our teachers or stuff like that. People always say, Samantha, you're the one to go and represent us. So I'm sure that because of the journalism that I studied, it has also helped me better my communication skills with several different kind of people. And this comes in when we talk about Finland now. I've been in Finland for a period of about 8 years now. And I've already been in the Finnish newspapers twice. So that's also a big...
That's something which was really intriguing to me. I was like, how did she even land into now? Actually, it's not the first time.
Yeah, it's
several times you've been in the papers.
Okay, what's back home in Uganda, yes. In Uganda, yeah. But I'm talking about Finland, it's something that I always ask myself, what is it with journalists that are always looking out for me? Is it that I have a cute smile that they look at and they're like, you think, Smoggy, tell me about my smile. Should I keep smiling so?
Please.
But they actually just feel a part of me because they get that connection of she's our own, she's a fellow journalist, so we should do this. But going back on that as well, Smoggy, I told you earlier that I'm very ambitious. When I came to Finland in my first year, I actually went to the top TV station here in Finland. It's called Yle TV. And I went to them and told them I'm a journalist from Uganda and I would like to work with you guys. Is there anything I can do? I can broadcast your news in English because the people that you have, I think I would do a better job than they would.
What a joke it was.
No, it wasn't a joke,
No, seriously, you come to a land, Finland, and then you want to bring your English
to
Finland.
But they have English news. They have an English broadcast. So I was going to do an English broadcast because they have Finnish people that broadcast in English. But, their accent is really, I'm going to tell you, Samantha, I love you so much. The kind of English. And then anyhow, they told me that apparently they did not have space for an English, journalist. What they promised me was that when my Finnish skills, get better, then I could actually go to them and, and probably read news in Finnish. Yeah. So
actually, this drives me to the introduction I was trying to give that in real life, to live, you have to grow, and to grow, you have to change. And to change, you have to learn.
Exactly.
And if you want to learn, then
you need to take
risks.
Have
to be exposed.
And you have to take risks as well.
Yes.
So, you can never know. You can never know unless you try.
And to be exposed, actually, be ready to throw yourself out to the public. Yes. Yeah. So I love the spirit of you where you just say, let me go.
Yes. You know, that brings me to this thing that I grew up knowing, that fail to try, but don't fail. No. Try and fail, but never fail.
But never failed.
Exactly.
Talk about that. How many jobs have you done in Finland?
In
In your,
Finland?
yeah, apart from
Just
joining the
one.
medical
Just
world.
one. Just
Just
one.
one.
Yeah, because I'm a permanent staff. You know, after I graduated, I got to this job or my employer, and even now that I'm studying or upgrading, I'm still a permanent staff there. So I do work every now and then whenever my schedule allows. Like today morning, I was at work from 7 to 2 p.m. Yeah, so I work every now and then, but not so much, because school is very taxing and very demanding and all that. So yes. But
It's quite
the thing that
amazing
I would
when
say here
well,
is
you know,
that much
juggling
as
with the
Afropeans,
journalist at the same time, you know, when you're medical personnel.
Afropeans,
And it's
I said Afropeans
interesting
because
that
in
for the
Finland we
first
have a
time,
group that we started.
we are
I and a
facing
group of friends of mine.
on one
We
in a
started a
different
group
angle. Most of
called
the times,
Afropeans.
Samantha, like I said in
That
the
is
beginning,
Africans and
she's
Finnish
my
people living here.
former classmate
Yeah, we did
in
that
high
group
school,
to
and we
encourage
managed to be at the same university. And
encourage
then,
people
by
from
coincidence,
back home,
worked here
people
in
from back
National
home
Water.
to bring their
And
children and
here we are in Europe now.
unite and
So these
blend
changes
together
are the
so that they
ones I'm
can
trying to
identify with
look
each
at
other. Because
when it comes to
when you
Europe.
live
How do you actually
abroad
really
here,
transit?
in
Just try
communities where you
to run us
might see that
through those
15 years for
courage.
about 20
And
years, but mind
but
you,
then
they have no courage.
when we're talking about the profession she did, she put it aside, though she's getting some skills to apply it. When do you find yourself even broadcasting anything? Maybe be it live on Facebook, or it's not your thing?
Well, I have a dream, yeah, that in I think 10 or 15 years from now, I intend to start up my own radio station, and I will be the one, you know, like airing, because you know, Smoggy,
another factor.
time and again, people always compliment my voice because they have a very beautiful voice. I wouldn't tell me that. I remember when I was at university,
Samantha,
yes,
be like mine.
deal with it, guys.
Think
Deal
about
with it. You know, give
what
credit
if
where it's
what you're
due.
saying? But I love the confidence, just because for
really
you,
have
yes, I love the confidence. You know, if you don't,
as compared to
you know,
me,
profile yourself well, then
Hey, you need to love yourself to be loved by other people too. What I'm trying to say here is when I was studying at the university, during my studies, then we had stations that we would do, you know, on radio. And guess what? I always won. My voice notes, you know, voiceovers were the best, and I got gigs, you know, because of that. Yeah. So I've done some voiceovers for certain radio stations. So my passion is that in future, when I grow old, you know, about maybe 55 or 60, I will have a radio show that I do, you know, just to soothe people or to give people. It's gonna be a love program, you know, giving people tips on how to maintain, you know, their relationships, how to maintain the sparks in their love life and things like that. So yes, I will definitely practice my journalism, you know, later in life. But for now, as I'm still here in Finland, I think I'm comfortable or happy with where I am. Only that I intend to study. I want to do a master's as well very soon. And then after that, I will call the studying chapter, you know.
So where do you see actually we, the Afropeans, being failed by the system to achieve? You know, yes, we can love to be winners. We can love to push and push and push. But don't you see situations where the system is hindering us from progressing?
What I would say is the problem is not the system, but the problem is our culture. You know, we come from two different worlds, yeah? And the difference between Europe, or let's say the diaspora, and Africa is that the diaspora is too fast for some of us Afropeans. Tendency of we do things at a very sluggy pace, you know. Yeah, we do things at a sluggy pace. We do not value time in that, if I have an appointment with Smoggy at 3 o'clock, I will show up at 5 o'clock. I used to do that in Uganda as well because, it was
It's a
the norm of
cultural
the day.
trend. Yeah.
It's a culture. It's not really a big deal. Even when you have a doctor's appointment, you will get there like 10 minutes, 20 minutes late, and the doctor will still, see you or examine you. And then when you come here, you find that if you cannot, if you cannot join or cope with their pace, then you're gonna be left out. So most Afropeans, fail because of this. Time management is a very, very big problem. And that is because we are born into a completely different culture. I'll give you an example. When I was working at National Water, we had this thing of, it didn't matter whether you called in and said, I'm sorry, boss, I cannot come today because I have tummy ache, if you trained, you would call and say, I'm not coming into work because of the fact that it has simply rained, and then at the end of the month, you would still get your lump sum salary, regardless of the fact that you were not at work for a particular number of days. In Europe, time is money. Yeah. The more the hours you work, the more the money you earn. So if you don't work, you won't earn, you see.
I get it.
So we get challenged because of that. The fact that we have to fit in, and yet some of us, naturally, some people are very slow. Some of us that are fast, are very, very fortunate that no matter what it is, we kind of fit in very well. Like me, I'm very easy. I adapt easily to change. When I go somewhere, it takes me 2-3 days and boom, I'll be good to go. But there are people that are very slow as snails. So for them to really partake that change and the pace, it's really complicated and hard for them. So that is one of the major problems that most Afropeans face.
Mm-hmm.
They fail to balance.
It's wearing. Yeah, continue. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I was saying that, and then on top of the fact that they fail to fit in, or they fail to catch up the pace, some of them have a problem of setting boundaries. There are people that I always tell that you can never solve everyone's problems. People have so many problems. We all have issues. We all have problems, but we need to understand that there's no way we can be a Jesus in this world. Jesus came once, he died for our sins. And Smoggy, are you there? Okay, I think Smoggy has vanished a bit, but I was saying that Jesus came and saved us from our sins, and that was it. So nobody should try to fit in his shoes and be a Jesus by trying to solve each and everyone's problems. Yeah. So we need to learn and set boundaries. And by this, I mean, Smoggy, much as we have problems and people that need help back home, we need to draw a line and say that, you know what, I can only help to this limit or to this extent. We should stop taking on other people's problems and other people's burdens as our own, because we also have our own issues. When we learn to do that, then we shall have more money saved onto our accounts. We shall have more peace. We shall have more freedom. But
what you're trying to mean, you're really trying to mean that we should not help if we've not been asked for help.
No.
Recording in progress.
I'm saying that we should have limits to know how far we can help and when to stop, or when to say that, sorry, Smoggy, you've called me, you need this help, you need this amount of money, but sorry, I don't have it this time. Yeah, because of the fact that you also need that money. We should not try to always be there, because remember that every money that you send out or give out will not be replaced.
True. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to say that people here should learn that much as they're in Europe or in the diaspora, it does not mean that they're going to be the Jesus of the whole clan back home. They should understand that much as people back home have problems, you should try to make them understand that this is how much you can also help because you also are living and you also need that help.
True.
But because nobody ever gives you the help, then they should also understand. So we need to have boundaries, create boundaries, and know that, okay, much as Smog is my friend, I can only lend my hand and do this, but this is where I also say that,
The
sorry,
extent I should stop.
yes. Know when to
Wow.
stop, know when to say no, and then know when to help. Yeah, helping is good, but we should always have a boundary and know when to say no.
It's quite a topic which cannot be, I mean, it's really endless. You cannot just stop it because there are very many factors we can always look into where which can push you to change, I mean, to check your dreams and, to see how you can actually achieve them. But I'm just so well to have Sammy for the first session now. Hopefully, we shall be having more of your time and then you'd run us through different areas because the way you are, you've metamorphosis in different areas. So I feel next time maybe you give us more of the Afropean. Is it an association, organization?
It's called Afropeans. It's Africans and Finnish people in Finland. Yeah, it's more like it's just a group. It's not really an association because it's not registered and stuff. But it's just a group of families. Yeah, it's a group of families that have, Finnish spouses, Finnish or African. It's a blend of the Finnish and Africans. Yeah, that live
Meanwhile,
here.
before we finally come to the end of the show, there's something I wanted to ask. Is there a situation where the family can hinder your dreams come true? Say, for example, you've been here, then out of the blue, then you get a child, or we need to plan even having children.
Definitely, it does. I told you earlier that if you want to achieve your dreams, especially, let's say, career path, profession-wise, then you need to do that before you get kids. Yeah, because when we get children, especially we mothers, we get so attached to the kids and we forget about ourselves and now start living for our children. Yeah. So whenever you tend to think, oh, okay, let me go back and study, you're like, okay, if I go and study, how am I going to provide for my child? Because when you're studying, it means you need to do double if you intend to study and work like many people do. Because personally, I'm not working right now. I only do, let's say, like three times a month, or sometimes I work once a month. That is that is very small. And if you do not have a supporting partner that will take on the load, then you might end up being disabled. So because of that, you find that very many people cannot actually accomplish that dream of upgrading or becoming a better person, or pursuing their dreams because of the fact that they have children that they need to take care of.
I've heard you have a dream of making a radio station, and towards the end, you want to center into the love area. Basically, you want to become a love doctor, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. You said it well. You summed it up well.
It's going to be an online.
Yeah.
It will be an online radio station.
No, it's going to be it's going to be a live. A real radio station with workers and all that. It won't be a live thing, not social media. No.
What are you negative on issues connected to social media?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't really love social media much. I don't mind it, but it's not really my piece of cake. And by this, I mean there are people that take it to the extreme. There are people that have abused social media. In the sense that they put too much on social media. We are getting to a time when we're going to see people making out, on Facebook or making
I get you.
That should be private, out there.
And
so
then,
that is something. And then they use bad language. People get videos of themselves with their lovers, and then they're using those terrible words that should be censored, and they're right. So because of all those things, I really wouldn't say that I'm a fan of social media, but it is what it is right now, and there's nothing we can do. So for those,
it's the new trend.
Yes, it's a new trend. Finally, Smoggy, I want to urge all the Afropeans that come to the diaspora to learn to live their life, the way they are, or try to live within their means. They should stop the habit of coping. People tend to come here and love coping a lot. You come and you background, you don't know anything about her, you don't know what Smoggy is doing, but you want to live a life like Samantha's, or you want to live a life like Smoggy's, you see. So because of that, you end up starving, or you end up living, a miserable life because you want to wear a shoe that Smoggy is wearing. Or so we need to appreciate what we have. We need to be grateful for what we have and stop the tendency of wanting to be like another person. We are all created in God's image. We are all special, and we should know that God loves us the way we are, and you can actually be productive, and you can be a change to this world without actually being a Samantha, or without being someone that you actually are not.
What a submission. I really love you to come more oftenly onto this session. Hopefully, you'll always give us some time. I know it's a precious time for people to sacrifice. That's why I always say thank you. And I'm really so humbled to have you for having given us the time. You would have been back in the medic. Actually, for the viewers, she changed her schedule. She was supposed to be at work, but then she changed everything. And then she decided to be with us on this Euro Forum to share a word. But hopefully you come very continuously whenever we call upon your assistance where need be. But to the viewers, those who have been live with us, I really do appreciate. It's not an easy goal, but we always try our level best, mostly here in Europe where everyone is busy. And lastly, next week, we shall be having an entertainer kind of show where we shall be looking at different issues, but mostly it will be either sports or something connected to entertainment. And then later, due to public demand, because Euroforum is a public forum, and people have demanded Mr. Motesa, the one I used to do with Kalowozo, and willingly he said he can also give us some time. And in 2 weeks to come, we shall see how we shall be jangling with him a little bit here on the Euroforum. But for now, we're most likely to close the show. But before we go ahead, there was a disappointment yesterday here in Denmark of the Kampala night. There were some technicalities that came in, and then it wasn't. It wasn't. The show was cancelled, but I think from their management, we shall be getting better information. Probably also we shall have some better explanation as to why issues happened like that. But all in all, it was some little technicalities. For now, Samantha, unless you have a last word you love to share.
Well, I just want to say,
just against us.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a huge thank you to you, my Smoggy, for this honor. It was a delight for me as well to share to be here with you. I cherish you so much. You are my big brother for life. And
summer is coming. You never know. We shall drop in Finland. Pay a return because at least you visited me here in Denmark. I feel I have a payback.
And to all our viewers out there, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sparing your time to catch up and share in this discussion with us. We are more than thrilled, and we hope that you will be back again with the one and only Smoggy. I might not be there, but at least I will also be joining in to listen, just like any of you. I love you so much. May God bless you, and take good care of yourself. I remain Samantha for now, and cheers to you all.
That was really so nice. Yes, and a big thank you to our producer, Mr. Mugisha and Gibson. You're doing a great work on the different platforms where we're broadcasting. And for now, allow me to say goodbye and then have a blessed new week. March is another, we, the people of March, trust me, we're just awesome.
Smoggy, next week is my birthday.
That's the reason why I'm saying there are very many things as to why we share in common. And March is our month. And all the March babies, I would love to say Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
And for now, I drop my case by saying good night for now. With respect.
Respect. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Recording stopped.
Okay. Recording stopped.
Tuve there live.
Good day.
Omwana kata tutu Zoom.
Bana